Hello, Ralph Ferret, the Branch Secretary of the Plymouth and East Cornwall Mail with another of our videos. So today I'm wanting to do a video aimed at our members in customer experience, MDEC, fleet and any other minority grade. And today we're going to be talking about what happened last week when the business served notice on the agenda for growth and some of the undertakings that were legally binding. And the reason I'm doing that now is I know that lots of you have had your Royal Mail influencer meetings, and I know that the business have been cast in doubt on what the union has been saying about what this means for our future prospects of employment. And I think it's really important for our members in CE, Fleet, MDEC and the other minority grades for all the reasons I'm going to outline in this video. So the first point I want to make to everyone, and I want everybody to think about this carefully when they're weighing what their manager has told them against what I'm telling you now, is Royal Mail went to great pains to explain that they were selectively serving notice on their undertakings. They haven't just cancelled the whole agenda for growth agreement, they haven't just cancelled every agreement, they've cancelled selectively the bits that they wanted to cancel. So for example, the dispute resolution process, something that Royal Mail like, they've kept in place. And you have to keep that in mind because it's important. They have selectively chosen parts of that agreement to serve notice on. So when Royal Mail managers tell you that there are currently no plans for them to outsource any part of the business, that none of our jobs are under any threat, I have to ask the question, why then have they served notice on the undertaking in respect of the legal protections? If as a business you had no plans and didn't foresee having any plans to outsource parts of the business, why would you do this? Why would you choose selectively to take that part of the agreement out? For me, that just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. There's no way that you would risk all of us fearing for our jobs. There's no way that you'd hand the union a propaganda gift about this. There's no way that you would set all those pulses racing for no reason. The only reason you would selectively choose to give notice on that undertaking is that if you currently had plans or you foresaw in the future that you might want to have plans to outsource part of the business. And I'm telling you now, if you honestly believe that the people who are currently running the business, who've done all of the things that they've done over the last few years, have never even for a minute thought about the possibility of saving money by outsourcing parts of this business, then ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, there's a bridge I'd like to sell you. The venture capitalists, the major shareholders, Daniel Kaczynski and Visa Capital and all of these sorts of people, they do not care about Royal Mail, its history. They do not care about us and our jobs. They're looking to make a quick buck. And if they're able to get away with pulling themselves out of these undertakings so that they no longer have a legal prohibition on outsourcing your jobs, and they think they can make money out of it, I promise you these people are going to be considering that. Now you've had these influencer visits from various different managers depending on your business unit. Now I'll say to you what I always say into all of my gate meetings, is that you can make up your own mind about who to trust. But I'll always say to you this, he who pays the piper picks the tune. So when your highly paid Royal Mail influencer manager came into the room, they weren't saying something that they believed to be true objectively, that was something that they volunteered to do. They're being paid, and they're usually being paid a lot compared to you. And they're being paid to give a brief that many of them probably don't agree with a word of it. But when I'm speaking, or when your union reps are speaking, we're volunteers. Only one person pays for the union, and that's you. So who pays the piper when I'm talking to you? Well, you do. I exist solely to give messages to you that I think are in your interests. And the other people are doing the job that they're paid for. And I have to tell you this, the managers who are doing these influencer talks, none of them are party to the discussions. They don't have meetings with Daniel Kaczynski and Visa Capital. They're not in on the secret plans that the people who own the business have to make money for themselves. So all they're doing is reading from a script from people above them. And I think they've proven to you, those people above them, time and time again about how trustworthy they are. So if you work in fleet, customer experience, or the MDEC, and managers are telling you your job isn't at risk, I have to tell you they're not telling you the truth. Your job is at risk. If they tell you this dispute and this fight isn't yours because it's only to do with the uniform grades, I have to tell you that that's also wrong. So we've got some big decisions to make. The dates for industrial action that the union has announced, we understand is a real extraordinary ask of all of you. It's a cost of living crisis that's bigger than any in the last 100 years since the 1930s. But the cost to us of not fighting this now is more than just a couple of days' pay. The cost to us is potentially losing our jobs. And the business, the people who own the business, and Simon Thompson, has signalled that they have absolutely no respect for our national agreements. They tore up the pathway to change before it was even 18 months old. They've signalled that they want to get rid of the agenda for growth. And I'm telling you now, they have no loyalty to the Managing the Surplus Framework Agreement. If they get away with what they've done in the last couple of months, there's no way that they want to pay you up to 2 years' money if you lose your job because of business-driven change. So don't believe that we're going to have that security blanket. This is, particularly for us in minority grades, an existential threat to our future employment. So next week, and on the future strike dates, please make sure you support yourselves by supporting your union. Keep the faith, and if we stick together, we can turn this around. But if we hang apart, all of us are in grave danger. Thanks for listening, and support your union.